called the Caledonia in Montreal. Big crowd of people came down to the Peterson resort. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of people. You know, for a moment there, it all seemed like it was worth doing. I mean, it's pretty impressive to look out there and see several hundred people all waving and cheering. And you, I mean, when you're from a small town, the numbers get to you. And you're looking out at them, and they're looking back at you, and you think, boy, I must be doing something right. And then they start to say, God save the king. And everybody's crying and waving and cheering. And then the boat starts to collapse. And they begin to yell. I mean, yell like you've never seen them yell before. And we're all there saying, God, please don't let the fighting be over before I can get over there and take part. On the edge of destiny, you must test your strength. What the hell am I talking about? The good ship Caledonia soon became known as the good ship Bonnet. I mean, it was never meant for people. Even the horses didn't like it. Up, down, down. And they were siphoning out brandy to keep us from puking our guts out on the deck. I mean, it was a big joke. Every time somebody would puke, which was every minute or so, everyone would point to him and laugh like it was the funniest thing they ever saw. I mean, puke, swishing around on the deck, 2 inches thick. Oh. And every time you close your eyes, you couldn't sleep, because every time you close them, you had a nightmare about being torpedoed. Every time I closed my eyes, I could see this torpedo coming up through the water, through the hull of the ship, and then boom! And we were attacked too. Yeah, off the coast of Ireland. I mean, I was scared shitless. All you could do was stand at the rail and watch the other ships get hit and go down. I mean, bodies floating like driftwood. But we made it through. The good ship Caledonia, latrine of the Atlantic, finally made it to Portsmouth, full of dead horses and sick Canadians. When we got off, they thought we were a boatload of Balkan refugees. We were off to fight the hunt, drifted into the land. How there goes the sun, like a sailor in the sun. We were off to fight the hunt, and it looked like lots of fun. Somehow it didn't seem like war at all, at all, at all. Somehow it didn't seem like war at all. A few days later, we marched into Schondrick military camp on the Channel. On a clear night, you could see the artillery flashes from France. I took it as a sign of better things to come. It wasn't. Dearest Margaret, Schondrick military camp is the worst yet. The cold wind brings 2 kinds of weather. Either it rains or it doesn't. When it rains, you got mud like you've never seen before. Your horse gets stuck in 1.5 feet of mud. You get off and you're knee-deep in the mud. The rain falls in sheets and you are never dry. Then the rain stops and the ground dries out. What a relief, you say, Margaret? Oh, no. Then the wind gets the dust blowing and you've got dust storms for days. The sand is like needles hitting you, and a lot of the guys are bleeding from the eyes. Oh, Margaret! I don't know what's worse, going blind or going crazy. The sand gets into your food, into your clothes, into your... A lot of the guys are suffering from something they call desert madness, which is really very serious. As I write this letter, Margaret, the sand is drifting across the page. I am thinking of you, Margaret, constantly. I remain. Being buried alive in the mud. I was seriously considering this proposition when a funny thing happened. I got my horse stuck in the middle of the parade ground. Whoa! The horse is up to its fedlocks. I'm up to my knees, mud, sweat, and horse shit from head to toe. Then, suddenly, out of the clouds comes this little single-seater scout, you know, this little fighter plane. He circles a couple of times. I guess the pilot has lost his way and he's going to come down for direction. He does this turn, and then he lands on an open space like a dragonfly on a rock. The pilot jumps out. He's in this long sheepskin coat, helmet, goggles, warm and dry. He gets his directions and is up again with the mist blowing off of him, all by himself. No superior officer, no sand, no mud. What a beautiful picture. I don't know how long I just sat there looking at him till he was long gone. Oof. Out of sight. Now, this war was going on a lot longer than anyone had expected. And a lot more people were being killed than anyone had expected. Now, I wasn't going to spend the rest of the war in the mud. And I tell you, I sure as hell wasn't going to die in the mud. Thinking of December nights in the clear Canadian cold, where the winter air don't smell bad and the wind won't make you cold, where the rain will wash your heart out and the nights ain't filled always dear. Oh, those old familiar voices whisper in my ear. Oh, Canada, sing a song for me. Sing one for your lonely son so far across the sea. Oh, Canada, sing a song for me. Sing one for your lonely son so far across the sea. Yeah, you don't fancy the cavalry, huh? What? I said, you don't fancy the cavalry. Well, it's gonna be worse at the first, mate, because there you got blokes shooting at you with machine guns. It's a bloody shooting gallery. Oh, that's terrible. I mean, I was a casualty during training. Look, the only way out is up. 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 Join the Royal Flying Corps, I did. Oh, I used to be in the cavalry. Then I joined the RFC. I like it. It's good, clean fun. Now, mind you, the bloody planes barely stay in the air, and the life expectancy of the lads is about what? It's about 11 days. But I like it. It's good, clean fun. Well, wait. I mean, how can I get into the RFC? I mean, I'm Canadian. You practically have to own your own plane to get into the RFC. Oh, contraire, mate. Au contraire. The upper classes are depressed by the present statistics, so they're not joining with their usual alacrity. Now, anybody that wants to can get blown out of the air. Even bleeding Canadians. Well, what do I have to do? Come here. Come here. You go down to see them at the war office. And then you tell them that you don't want to be a pilot, you want to be an observer. Well, what's an observer? Well, what's an observer? Come here, come here, come here. An observer. He's the guy that sort of goes along for the ride, you know, sort of looks about. Then you act real disappointed. I mean real disappointed. Like your mom always wanted you to be a pilot. And then you get your transfer. Okay, hold it. So, I'm an observer, right? I'm the one that sort of goes along for the ride, sort of looks about. But when do I get to be a pilot? I don't know. You just get to be a pilot.
plenty of vacancies these days.